Hey everybody, since we're just waiting on the next stage of the special event, Pinnacle of Performance, featuring the new McLaren Senna GTR, let's take a peek at the bonus series the car is going to be featured in once you win it. And now that series features this beauty as well, that is the P1 GTR that you just saw on the main home screen, along with Ferrari FXX K Evo. So it's at the very far end of your Legends section of the road collection. No Limits is the name of the series, and if you don't own any of these three cars, then the series you can unlock by winning 34 trophies in the last, well, it's actually not last, second to last big box series, because we're not counting endurance legends. So Campionato Scuderia Ferrari, right? The F14T series, by winning 14 trophies, 34 trophies there. This series will be unlocked, but I have a feeling you guys probably want to unlock this series by either winning one of the three cars featured in the No Limits. I think that's a better way to go. So let's hop in and find out what this series is going to be all about. Three of the world's most wanted and desirable track rivals are unleashed in a heated high-stakes battle. Yeah, this series, I am really looking forward to it because all three cars are really, really good. I mean, the FXX K Evo version, I think, definitely does overpower P1 GTR, because P1 GTR used to be, I would call that a real tight rival against the Ferrari, just the non-Evo version of FXX K originally back in the day. So of course with the Evo version, it is, little bit, got the upper hand, and it's later production year car as well. So, technology, right? The 3 years makes. The P1 GTRs from the 2015, and the FXX K Evo from 2018. And the McLaren Senna GTR, of course, is 2019, right? Although development obviously started much earlier. But anyway, the series total gold available, 100% completion, is 79 gold. First 25% completion gets you 10 gold. I believe 50% is 15, and the remainder, let's see, out of 79 we take 25 out, so you still have some 54 left. So I'd assume the remaining 54 will be divided up between the final two tiers, maybe 20 something, 22 and 24. No, most likely I'd assume it'll be a little bit less on the 75% completion rating, and then the last would obviously pay out the most. So there are 20 tiers total, and 3 cars featured. So we got 3 showcase tiers. Tier 4 featuring McLaren P1 GTR, which will have 2 events, followed by the P1 GTR time trial. And then we got the Ferrari FXX K Evo showcase tier, which also has 2 events, followed by the time trial that goes with that car. And then the last one will be, of course, the new Senna GTR showcase, which also features 2 events and the time trial to go with it. So as always, let's run through, in case if you already own these cars, obviously you would have access to these this series. I'm assuming none of you guys, unless you cheated, would already own the Senna GTR as of right now, because upgrade just was released the other day. So we're like on the second day of the event. So with a special event, you cannot hurry up and rush through unless you time travel. By that I mean cheat. So we're gonna stick with the legit here. So, and look at that, bunch of my friends, including my other account, I've gone through several tiers on this series. That's how I know the 50% completion will pay out extra 15 gold on top of the 25% completion of 10 gold. So yeah, PR required to 100% complete this series, 97.4, which means only car that can reach the far end of the series is going to be the new McLaren Senna GTR, because both P1 GTR and FXX K Evo, their PR tops out in like 96.3 for P1 GTR fully upgraded, and 96.7 for FXX K Evo fully upgraded. So, and then Senna GTR, when it's fully upgraded, goes all the way up to 98.1. So obviously that's high enough to complete the rest of the series. But if the past is any indicator of the future, you should be able to claim 75% completion without fully upgrading, let's say, Senna GTR, or with a fully upgraded P1 GTR or FXX K Evo, because those cars we've had, well, upgrade discounts. How do I know that? Well, you play for a while, you know these things. Because they happen, and you try to take advantage of those discount offers by upgrading your car, of course. All right, so tier 1, got Endurance, Autocross, Cup. Let's see, Cup is going to be a Silverstone National. It's a single lap, so a pretty short one. And yeah, these cars all, except for the new one, both of them have exclusive series, so there's some extra gold to be won there. So definitely worth upgrading, not to mention those cars are pretty awesome. Anyway, upon completing the first tier, you get the tier 2 elimination at Bugatti Circuit, Hunter at Nürburgring, and a Cup at Mount Panorama. PR 65.1 is required, which is kind of silly because all three cars featured in this series, base PR is like in high 70s. 78.8 for P1 GTR, 79.2 for FXX K Evo, and 79.5 for Senna GTR. So that PR requirement seems kind of a moot, doesn't it? And it's gonna be just a single lap Cup at Mount Panorama. And upon completing the tier 2, so 6 trophies, unlocks tier 3, which also features regular tier, another tier with kind of a silly PR requirement of 66.2. We got a single lap head-to-head at Catalunya National, Speed Snap at Spa, and the Cup at Berlin. I believe, yeah, 2 laps. Yeah, as I said, the PR requirement, if you own the car, you would have it high enough. So, and if you notice, this tier, the showcase tier, is unlocked with 8 trophies, not 9. So upon winning 2 events in tier 3, you will get to unlock the showcase, which of course will, if you don't own the car, you get the 20% off discount on the car, which I don't know if it's all that great of a deal, because buying any of these cars outright is pretty pricey. And P1 GTR, if you can get it through, I don't know, the special event, I believe it was called Born for Victory. I don't know if it's included in, I don't think it's yet included in Events Archive, is it? I'm not sure. They've been adding more and more events, so if it's not in there already, it will be added in the near future, I'm sure, because you can win this car for free. 0 upgrade, you should be able to win, if I remember correctly. So I'll have my playthrough. I think I have the playthrough of this series. This one goes back quite a few years, so if I have a playthrough video of that series, it's probably one of the flashback versions of it. But I'll have the link to that playlist, if I find it, in the description box below, so you guys can check that out. And it's a showcase tier, no PR required. We got 2 events, speed record at Suzuka East, and the cup at COTA, Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix, just a single lap. Alright, and at the same time, when you unlock the showcase tier, it'll also unlock time trial, and it will take place at Spa. And look at my other accounts lap time, 2 minutes 46. Obviously I took a nap. So yeah, just wanted to get completion in there. Wasn't really racing all that hard, obviously. And 9 trophies, if you see, unlocks tier 6. So you don't necessarily have to buy this McLaren P1 GTR in order to unlock tier 6. Completing all 3 events in tier 3 will unlock tier 6. Alright, then it's just another regular 3 event tier. We got Autocross at Melbourne, Hunter at Brands Hatch, and the Cup at Dubai International PR 69. So still, this PR requirement is kind of silly. And this one's going to be a double lapper. And then 12 trophies. So if we decide to skip tier, the showcase tier, that'll be basically winning every gold trophy or every trophy of any color up till this point. By the way, if you are, let's see, completing 13 events will be worth 25% completion, because there are 51 events total. So depending on whether you complete the showcase tier, well, if you don't complete the showcase tier and the time trial, because if you decide not to buy the P1 GTR while you're running through this one, then the 25% completion would happen in tier 7, because 13 trophies is what you need. And yeah, you wouldn't quite have access to the time trial and the showcase without the car. But if you do have the car, or purchase the car, P1 GTR that is, then you will reach that 25% completion, the 10 gold in tier 6. So something to keep in mind. And then tier 7, we got head-to-head at Suzuka West, of course a single lap, endurance at Porsche Test Track, long road circuit, and the cup is going to be at Monza Road Course, 3-lapper, and once again another PR requirement that has really no meaning at this point. And then completing those 3 trophies, if you skipped over the showcase and time trial for P1 GTR, will unlock tier 8, where we got speed record at Daytona Motorcycle Course, speed snap at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, and the cup at Dubai Grand Prix. Still, PR requirement is pointless here. 2-lapper cup, right? So, all right, and just like previous showcase tier, you don't need to win every gold trophy or trophy for that matter to unlock the FXX K Evo showcase. It only requires 2 from tier 8. And obviously, if you did win the trophies in the P1 GTR showcase, then obviously that would take even less. So tier 7 completion would unlock this showcase tier and the time trial tier for FXX K Evo. And in that showcase tier, you'll find Hunter at Catalunya Grand Prix, and the Cup is going to be at Hockenheim National 4 laps. Alright, and the time trial for FXX K Evo takes place at Silverstone Grand Prix. Alright, and next tier is unlocked by basically completing all the events excluding showcase tiers, right? We got head-to-head at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. It's gonna be a single lap, of course, and the drag race takes place at Nürburgring Grand Prix. It's a drag race. And still, at tier 11, PR requirement is still kind of a pointless PR requirement. For Cup at Suzuka West, it's going to be 4 laps. All right. And then next tier is going to be tier 12. All right. And you'll find, of course, and by the way, depending on whether you have been skipping the showcase and time trial events, if you didn't, then your 50% completion should take place in tier 11 upon completion of all 3, because that would mean you would have 26 events completed, right? So that would be the 15 extra gold. Otherwise, you would have to continue on a little bit further down to get to the essentially the tier 13 is where you would be able to claim the 50% completion reward. But anyway, tier 12, we got autocross at Mount Panorama, and the elimination at the short road circuit of Leipzig Circuit Porsche Test Track. And the Cup is going to be at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix, PR 78.6. So this is going to be the last tier where PR requirement has no meaning, because next tier on is going to be above 78.6, which means it's going to be most likely above 78.8, which is the base PR of P1 GTR. Anyway, this one's a 3-lap Cup. All right, tier 13. We got speed record at Monza Road Course, and so that's a full lap. Endurance at the 24-hour circuit, and the Cup for tier 13 is going to take place at Daytona Road Course. Rolling start as always. And PR requirement 83.8. That is a leap, isn't it? So tier 13, all 3 cars will need some upgrades. So tier 13 is essentially your first upgrade tier if you are running, no upgrade cars for some reason. Anyway, this is going to be 3-lap Cup. All right, moving on to tier 14, which is the last showcase tier, and that is for Senna GTR in this case. 2 events featured as always with the showcase. We got Speed Snap at Brands Hatch and Cup at Spa, and it's going to be 2 laps. And yes, I have not won this car yet, so it's still locked. And at the same time, the time trial for Senna GTR will unlock, which will take place at Melbourne, and there shouldn't be anybody here, and obviously that person has cheated. Those people have cheated to get their time in here, because it's not possible to do that right now. Unless they know something that I don't know. Maybe they're testers, I don't know. I don't want to throw accusations, Anyway, moving on to tier 16. All right, and if you've been completing every showcase tiers, events, and time trial, tier 16 is where you get to claim the 75% completion. Where we got head-to-head at Berlin, single lap, autocross at Mazda Raceway, and the Cup at Suzuka Grand Prix. And It's going to be 4-lap cup at Suzuka Grand Prix, so that's going to be kind of a fun, long format event. And PR 83.8. I was going to say, didn't we have just that PR in Tier 13? We did. So they are freezing the PR requirement from Tier 13 through Tier 16 here, which is kind of interesting. It's not the first time where multiple tiers have the same PR requirement, but we haven't seen that kind of thing in a while. So anyway, Tier 17, we got elimination at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit, Hunter at Hockenheim Grand Prix, and the cup for Tier 17 is at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, PR 88.8. So all 3 cars obviously still able to compete here. And it's going to be 4-lap cup. And let's see, 88.8. Well, the significance of that number is that it's above the racing dollar upgrades on all 3 cars. Like 83.8 is within the range of the racing dollar upgrades on all 3 cars, because P1 GTR gets all the way up to 85.2 with racing dollars upgrades alone, and FXX K Evo gets up to 84.3, so slightly less because there are a couple of less upgrades available on FXX K Evo, the racing dollar upgrades, before you have to get gold upgrades, and even less on the Senna GTR because there are only 7 racing dollar upgrades available before you have to spend gold on the new car. So that one goes up to 84.2. So 88.8 definitely will require some gold upgrades. Anyway, let's see. Next tier, Tier 18. All right, we got Endurance at Silverstone International, Speed Snap at Catalunya Club, and the cup is going to be at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. PR 94 is required. So now you're getting to the point where the cars need to be closer to getting almost maxed out, like fully upgraded. How many laps? 6 laps. Red Bull Ring is relatively small for a Grand Prix circuit. So still still a high lap count. So all right, and then if you have been skipping through somehow, reached this far while skipping the showcase tiers, here is a Tier 19 where you can claim the 75% completion. Obviously, if you didn't skip, then you would have been able to collect 75% completion in Tier 16 or 17, depending on whether you reach that point before you win the Senna GTR. Right. So Tier 19, we got speed record at the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, and head-to-head at Monza road course single lap, and the cup at the 24-hour Le Mans. PR 96.9 is required, which means this is where Senna GTR runs alone until, that is, you win gold trophy. Then the PR requirement is removed, so you can race any of the 3 cars featured here. But in order to get to that point, you'll have to be able to meet the PR requirement 96.9, which is beyond the P1 GTR and FXX K Evo. And it's going to be 3-lap cup. So yeah, as you can see, the PR is red, which means these 2 cars just can't pull it off. And 39 trophies is the 75% completion, by the way. So if you skipped all the showcase tiers and what would you call it, the time trials, you can still unlock every series, but you would have to complete, meaning you would need quite a bit more upgrades to get this far. But anyway, so final tier, tier 20, you got autocross at Daytona Road Course, drag race in the final tier, Suzuka Grand Prix, and the final cup is going to be a Silverstone Grand Prix with the PR requirement 97.4. Once again, only Senna GTR can reach, and it's going to be a 4-lap cup. So yeah, that would be the overview of this new No Limit series. Instead, featuring the 3 awesome cars: McLaren P1 GTR, Ferrari FXX K Evo, and the new McLaren Senna GTR. So, which is currently we got the special event going on right now. Pinnacle of performance. So, all right. So I'll actually, since we're gonna have between the stages, especially the early stages, we're gonna have some extra time. I'll see if I can make some progress through this No Limits new bonus series here. So when I get to win the car, the new car, I'll be a little bit more ready to go a little bit further. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys found the information useful. Click that like button, subscribe for more contents like this, and share, and you know what to do. All right, thanks and take care.